Have you ever wondered why so many men feel lost, even when they have more opportunities than any generation before them? Every day, millions wake up with good intentions. They promise themselves they'll change, work harder, become stronger, and build a better future. But by the end of the day, they're scrolling endlessly, chasing other people's approval, and wondering why nothing in their lives has changed. The truth is uncomfortable, but it's also freeing. The world doesn't owe you success. It doesn't owe you happiness, and it certainly won't reward excuses. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosophers understood something that many people still fail to grasp today. Your greatest battle is not against the world, it's against yourself. Every distraction you allow into your life weakens your focus. Every excuse you repeat steals a piece of your potential. Every emotional reaction you can't control gives someone else power over your days. Peace of mind. Imagine waking up every morning with complete control over your thoughts. Imagine staying calm when others panic, staying disciplined when others quit, and staying focused while everyone else is distracted. That isn't luck, it's a skill, and like every skill, it can be learned. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover 30 Stoic principles that have guided emperors, warriors, leaders, and ordinary people through some of life's greatest challenges. These aren't ancient quotes to admire, they're practical rules you can apply starting today. Before we begin, I want to ask you something. Which challenge do you struggle with the most? Discipline, overthinking, anger, or seeking other people's approval? Write your answer in the comments. I read them all, and your answer may help someone else realize they're not facing these struggles alone. Now, take a deep breath, clear your mind. Let's begin with the first principle, the one that changes everything. What if I told you the biggest lie holding you back is the belief that one day someone will come and change your life? Many people spend years waiting. They wait for the perfect opportunity. They wait for motivation to appear. They wait for more money, a better job, the right relationship, or the perfect moment to finally become the person they dream of being. But while they're waiting, life keeps moving. The Stoics understood a timeless truth. The moment you accept full responsibility for your life is the moment your life begins to change. Imagine two men facing the same problem. Both lose their jobs on the same day. The first blames the economy, his boss, and bad luck. He complains, waits, and hopes something better will happen. The second man feels the same disappointment, but instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" he asks, "What can I do next?" He updates his skills, improves his resume, learns something new, and keeps moving forward. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one excuse you're ready to leave behind today? Write it in the comments. Saying it out loud is the first step toward letting it go. And remember this as we move to the next lesson. Months later, their lives look completely different. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was responsibility. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that he controlled only one thing, his own actions. He never waited for life to become easier. He became stronger instead. Here's your challenge for today. Stop waiting for motivation. Pick one important task you've been avoiding and spend just 15 focused minutes working on it. Don't worry about finishing it. Just begin. Months later, their lives look completely different. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it was responsibility. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that he controlled only one thing, his own actions. He never waited for life to become easier. He became stronger instead. Here's your challenge for today. Stop waiting for motivation. Pick one important task you've been avoiding and spend just 15 focused minutes working on it. Don't worry about finishing it. Just begin. The man who waits for someone to save him stays exactly where he is. The man who saves himself becomes unstoppable. In the next chapter, you'll discover the Stoic principle that instantly reduces stress and helps you stay calm, no matter what life throws at you. Have you ever noticed that the more you try to control everything, the more stressed you become? Think about it. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control the weather, the economy, traffic, social media algorithms, or whether someone likes you. Yet millions of people spend every day worrying about these things. They replay old conversations in their minds. They imagine worst-case scenarios that never happen. They lose sleep over opinions from people they'll never meet again. The Stoics believed this was one of the biggest reasons people suffer. Epictetus taught a simple but life-changing idea. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Imagine you're planting a tree. Okay, you can choose good soil. You can water it. You can protect it and care for it every day. But you cannot force it to grow overnight. You cannot control the rain, the wind, or the changing seasons. Life works the same way. You control your effort, not always the outcome. A student can study with complete focus but still face a difficult exam. An entrepreneur can work tirelessly and still experience failure. A good person can still be misunderstood. That doesn't mean they failed. It means they focused on the right things. The strongest men don't waste energy fighting reality. They invest their energy where it actually makes a difference. So here's today's Stoic challenge. The next time you feel anxious, stop for a moment and ask yourself one question. Is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take action immediately. If the answer is no, let it go and redirect your attention to something you can influence. This single habit can reduce stress, improve your decisions, and help you stay calm even when life feels chaotic. Now it's your turn. What's one thing you've been worrying about that you know you can't control? Share it in the comments. You might inspire someone else to let go of the same burden. In the next chapter, we'll explore why comfort is quietly destroying millions of men's potential and how embracing discomfort can transform your life forever. What if your biggest enemy isn't failure, but comfort? Most people think success is blocked by bad luck, lack of money, or lack of talent. But the real enemy often looks harmless. It's the comfortable bed that convinces you to sleep another hour. It's the endless scrolling that turns 5 minutes into 2 hours. It's saying, "I'll start tomorrow," until months become years. Comfort doesn't destroy your life overnight. It destroys it one small decision at a time. It destroys it one small decision at a time. The Stoics understood something that modern society often forgets. Growth begins where comfort ends. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The steel is heated until it glows, then struck again and again with a hammer. Without the fire and the pressure, the sword remains weak. The same is true for your character. Every difficult workout strengthens your body. Every hard conversation strengthens your confidence. Every challenge you face without quitting strengthens your mind. Here's today's Stoic challenge. Choose one thing that makes you uncomfortable but moves your life forward. Go to the gym. Read 10 pages of a book. Apply for that job. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Start the project you've been delaying. Remember this, your future is created by the difficult choices you make today, not the comfortable ones you avoid. Now I want to hear from you. Most people believe strength is loud. They think it's raising your voice, proving you're right, or getting the last word. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Real strength is staying calm when everyone expects you to lose control. Picture this. You're at work and someone publicly criticizes you. Your heart starts racing. Your mind instantly wants revenge. Every emotion tells you to react. This is the moment that defines your character. Anyone can react. Very few people can respond with wisdom. What's one comfort you're willing to give up this week to become a stronger man? Leave your answer in the comments. In the next chapter, you'll learn why mastering your emotions is the greatest form of strength and why the calmest man in the room is often the most powerful. Who is stronger, the man who wins every argument, or the man who doesn't need to argue at all? The Stoics believed your emotions are not your enemy, but becoming their servant is. Imagine your emotions as a wild horse. If the horse controls the rider, both end up lost. But when the rider learns patience, balance, and discipline, the horse becomes a source of incredible strength. Your mind works the same way. Anger isn't the problem. Fear isn't the problem. Sadness isn't the problem. The real problem is allowing those emotions to make your decisions. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is not to become like the person who harmed you. Think about that. When you answer hatred with hatred, you've already lost. But when you remain calm, you've protected something far more valuable, your peace. Here's today's Stoic challenge. The next time someone insults you, interrupts you, or tries to provoke you, don't answer immediately. Take one slow breath, count to 5. Then ask yourself, will my next words improve this situation or make it worse? That 5-second pause could save a friendship, protect your career, or prevent years of regret. Now I'd like to hear from you. Do you struggle more with anger, anxiety, or overthinking? Write just one word in the comments. Your honesty could encourage someone else to begin mastering their own emotions. Remember this: the man who conquers others may appear powerful. The man who conquers himself is truly unstoppable. In the next chapter, you'll discover why time is the most valuable currency you'll ever own, and how most people waste it without even realizing it. If I gave you $1 million today, but told you that tomorrow morning you would never wake up, would you take it? Of course not, because deep down you already know the truth. Time is more valuable than money. Money can be earned back. A failed business can be rebuilt. A lost investment can recover. But one wasted day is gone forever. No amount of wealth can buy back yesterday. Yet this is exactly how most people live. They protect their money but spend their time carelessly. They can tell you where every dollar went, but they have no idea where the last 5 years disappeared. One episode becomes an entire season. One scroll on social media becomes 3 hours. One day of procrastination quietly becomes another year of unrealized dreams. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned that life isn't short, we simply waste much of it. His words are even more relevant today than they were 2,000 years ago. Imagine your life as a bank account that deposits 86,400 seconds into your account every morning. By midnight, whatever you didn't use wisely disappears forever. You can't save it. You can't borrow more. You only get a fresh deposit tomorrow, if tomorrow comes. Now ask yourself honestly, where are your seconds going? Are they building your future or feeding distractions? Successful men don't have more time than anyone else. They simply protect it like it's their greatest investment. Here's today's Stoic challenge. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to every hour of your day. At the end of the night, ask yourself one simple question. Did today's actions move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, don't feel guilty. Change tomorrow, because small changes repeated every day create extraordinary lives. Now it's your turn. If you had 1 extra hour every day, what would you use it for? Learning a skill? Starting a business? Reading? Exercising? Let me know in the comments. And if this message is helping you see your life differently, subscribe and join this community of people committed to becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined every day. Because in the next chapter, we'll explore one of the hardest Stoic lessons of all, why chasing other people's approval will keep you trapped, and how true confidence is built from within. How much of your life has been spent trying to impress people who don't even think about you? It's a difficult question, but an important one. Many men choose careers they don't enjoy because society says they're successful. They buy things they can't afford to impress people they barely know. They stay silent because they're afraid of criticism, or they change who they are just to fit in. Without realizing it, they become prisoners of other people's opinions. Unbreakable. The Stoics believed this was one of the fastest ways to lose yourself. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that people will judge you no matter what you do. If you succeed, some will envy you. If you fail, some will mock you. If you stay quiet, they'll call you weak. If you speak confidently, they'll call you arrogant. So why spend your life trying to satisfy people who will always find a reason to criticize you? Without realizing it, they become prisoners of other people's opinions. Unbreakable. The Stoics believed this was one of the fastest ways to lose yourself. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that people will judge you no matter what you do. If you succeed, some will envy you. If you fail, some will mock you. If you stay quiet, they'll call you weak. If you speak confidently, they'll call you arrogant. So why spend your life trying to satisfy people who will always find a reason to criticize you? Imagine a ship crossing the ocean. The captain doesn't change direction every time the wind shifts. He keeps his eyes on the destination. Your values should work the same way. If every opinion changes your direction, you'll spend your entire life drifting instead of arriving. Real confidence isn't built from compliments. It's built by keeping promises to yourself. Every workout you complete, every book you finish, every difficult conversation you face, every promise you keep. These small victories create something far more valuable than approval. They create self-respect. And once you truly respect yourself, you stop begging for respect from others. Here's today's Stoic challenge. For the next 7 days, make one promise to yourself. Something simple but meaningful. Maybe it's waking up on time, exercising for 30 minutes, or reading 10 pages every day. Then keep that promise, no matter how you feel, because confidence isn't something you find. It's something you build through consistent action. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever changed yourself just to make someone else like you? Share your experience in the comments. Your story may help someone realize they don't have to live for other people's approval. And remember this, the strongest man in the room isn't the one everyone applauds. It's the one who can look in the mirror with pride. In the next chapter, you'll discover why silence is one of the most powerful weapons a wise man can master, and why speaking less often gives you more influence. What if the most powerful thing you could say was nothing at all? We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard. Social media encourages people to share every opinion, every emotion, and every detail of their lives. Many believe that the loudest voice is the strongest voice, but Stoicism teaches a completely different lesson. Silence is not weakness. Silence is self-control. Think about the most respected person you've ever met. Chances are they didn't interrupt everyone. They didn't argue over every small disagreement. They didn't need constant attention. They spoke with purpose, and because they spoke less, people listened more. Epictetus once reminded his students that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. The lesson wasn't just about talking less, it was about learning more. Every moment you spend speaking is a moment you cannot listen, and every moment you truly listen, you gain information that others miss. Imagine you're playing a game of chess. The inexperienced player rushes every move without thinking. The master studies the board, waits patiently, and acts only when the moment is right. Life works the same way. When someone insults you, silence gives you time to think instead of react. When someone reveals too much about themselves, silence allows you to understand them better. When emotions are running high, silence protects you from words you'll later regret. Laugh and mean perish and mean tinisild, never speak. It means your words should have value. People remember thoughtful words far longer than endless conversations. Here's today's Stoic challenge. For the next 24 hours, practice speaking only when your words improve the conversation. Before you respond, ask yourself, is what I'm about to say true, necessary, and helpful? If the answer is no, let silence do the work. You'll be surprised how much respect and clarity you gain. Now I'd like to hear from you. What's harder for you, staying silent when you're angry, or staying silent when you want to prove you're right? Share your answer in the comments. Your experience might help someone else become more mindful. And remember this: a wise man doesn't speak to fill the silence, he speaks to add value. In the next chapter, you'll discover why every obstacle in your life can become your greatest teacher, and how the hardest moments often create the strongest men. What if the problem you're praying to escape is actually the opportunity you've been waiting for? Most people see obstacles as signs to quit. They lose a job and believe their future is over. They get rejected once and decide they're not good enough. They fail a business, a relationship, or an exam, and they carry that failure like a permanent label. But the Stoics saw life differently. They believed every obstacle carries the seed of growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that for a moment. The obstacle isn't blocking your path. The obstacle is the path. Imagine a river flowing toward the ocean. When it meets a massive rock, it doesn't stop. It doesn't complain. It doesn't turn around. It flows around the rock. Over time, that same river shapes the stone itself. Strength isn't about avoiding resistance. It's about learning to move through it. Look at the strongest people you know. Chances are they didn't become strong because life was easy. They became strong because they faced heartbreak, failure, criticism, rejection, and uncertainty, and they refused to let those experiences define them. Every challenge teaches something. Failure teaches humility. Rejection teaches resilience, preparing you for your greatest breakthrough. Now I want to hear from you. What's the hardest challenge you've overcome, and what did it teach you? Share your story in the comments. Someone reading it might find the encouragement they need to keep going. And never forget this: easy lives rarely build strong men. Hard times often do. In the next chapter, we'll explore the principle that separates dreamers from achievers, why discipline will always beat motivation, and how to build habits that last a lifetime. What if the biggest reason you're not reaching your goals isn't a lack of talent, but a lack of discipline? Every January, millions of people feel unstoppable. They buy new journals, join the gym, create ambitious plans, and promise themselves that this year will be different. But a few weeks later, the excitement fades. The gym becomes empty. The books collect dust. The goals are forgotten. Why? Because they depended on motivation, and motivation is temporary. Some mornings you'll wake up feeling inspired. Most mornings you won't. The Stoics understood this long before the modern world. They never trusted emotions to determine their actions. Instead, they built habits that carried them forward even when they didn't feel like moving. Imagine two men training for a marathon. The first trains only when he's motivated. The second trains whether he feels motivated or not. Who do you think will cross the finish line? Success isn't built on your best days. It's built on the ordinary days when no one is watching. The days when you're tired. The days when progress feels slow. The days when quitting seems easier. That's when discipline becomes your greatest advantage. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up every morning feeling like an emperor. He still had fears, doubts, and responsibilities. But he reminded himself of one: because consistency beats intensity every single time. Now I want to ask you, what's one habit that could completely change your life if you practiced it every day? Share it in the comments and commit to starting today. If you're finding value in these lessons, subscribe and become part of a community dedicated to discipline, wisdom, and self-mastery. And in the next chapter, you'll discover one of the most powerful Stoic truths of all: why your daily habits, not your biggest dreams. Simple truth: do what needs to be done, not when it's easy, not when you're inspired, but because it's your duty. Here's today's Stoic challenge. Choose one habit that will improve your life, something so small that you have no excuse not to do it. Read just 10 pages. Exercise for 20 minutes. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Meditate for 5 minutes. Then repeat that habit every day for the next 30 days, regardless of how you feel. Determine the man you become. Right now, your future is being built not by your biggest goal, but by what you repeatedly do every single day. Think about that. Most people believe their life changes because of one big opportunity, one lucky break, or one life-changing decision. But the Stoics knew that greatness isn't created in a single moment. It's built through ordinary actions repeated consistently. Imagine a sculptor standing in front of a massive block of marble. He doesn't create a masterpiece with one strike of the hammer. He chips away at the stone thousands of times. Each strike seems insignificant, but together they create something extraordinary. Your life works exactly the same way. Every morning you choose to wake up instead of hitting snooze. Every workout you finish, every healthy meal you eat, every page you read, every promise you keep, you are carving the man you will become. And here's the difficult truth. The opposite is also true. Every hour wasted becomes a lifestyle. Every shortcut weakens your character. You don't suddenly become disciplined. You become disciplined by acting with discipline every day. Marcus Aurelius didn't become one of history's greatest leaders through speeches alone. He became that man through daily reflection, constant self-improvement, and the courage to correct his own mistakes. Ask yourself this question. If I repeated today's habits for the next 5 years, would I be proud of the person I'd become? If the answer is no, don't wait for next Monday, next month, or next year. Change one habit today, because changing one habit often changes an entire life. Here's today's Stoic challenge. Tonight, before you go to sleep, write down 3 habits that are making you stronger and 1 habit that's quietly holding you back. Tomorrow morning, eliminate that one bad habit for just 1 day. Then do it again the next day. Hormone. Small victories become powerful transformations. Hormone. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one habit you've been trying to build, or one habit you're determined to break? Share it in the comments. Your commitment might inspire someone else to begin their own journey today. And remember this. Your destiny isn't decided by what you dream about. It's decided by what you do repeatedly when no one is watching. In the next chapter, we'll explore a lesson that almost every modern man struggles with. How to stop overthinking, silence your mind, and finally find peace through Stoic wisdom. How many opportunities have you lost simply because you thought about them for too long? Overthinking feels productive. It convinces you that if you analyze every possibility, you'll make the perfect decision. So you replay conversations, you imagine every possible outcome. You worry about mistakes that haven't happened yet. Hours turn, days turn into months. Do lot, and while you're still thinking, life keeps moving without you. The Stoics understood a truth that many people never learn. A decision made with courage is usually better than a perfect decision made too late. Imagine standing at the edge of a cold lake. The longer you stand there thinking about how cold the water will be, the more difficult it becomes to jump. But the moment you take the first step, something changes. Your fear disappears because action replaces imagination. Momentum pulling profounding traps you. It creates problems that don't exist. It convinces you that failure is guaranteed. It steals your confidence before you've even started. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, political betrayal, disease, and impossible choices. Yet he didn't waste his life asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" Instead, he asked, "What is the right thing to do right now? What is the right thing to do right now?" That single question cuts through confusion. Not tomorrow, not next month, right now, because action creates clarity. Thinking alone rarely does. Here's today's Stoic challenge. Think about one decision you've been delaying. Maybe it's starting a business, applying for a new job, going to the gym, ending a toxic relationship, calling someone you've been avoiding. Within the next 24 hours, take one small action toward that decision. Not the entire journey, just the first step. Because the first step destroys fear faster than 1,000 hours of thinking. Now I want to ask you something. What's one goal you've been overthinking instead of pursuing? Be honest in the comments. Sometimes writing it down is the moment everything begins to change. And never forget this. Overthinking creates imaginary prisons. Action creates real freedom. Within the next 24 hours, take one small action toward that decision. Not the entire journey, just the first step. Because the first step destroys fear faster than 1,000 hours of thinking. Now I want to ask you something. What's one goal you've been overthinking instead of pursuing? Be honest in the comments. Sometimes writing it down is the moment everything begins to change. And never forget this. Overthinking creates imaginary prisons. Action creates real freedom. In the next chapter, you'll discover one of the hardest but most liberating Stoic lessons. When tain minothagon, why learning to let go of the past is essential if you want to build a better future. What if the heaviest thing you're carrying isn't in your hands, but in your mind? Every day, millions of people wake up carrying invisible weight. Some carry the pain of betrayal. Others carry regret over opportunities they missed. Some replay embarrassing moments from years ago as if they happened yesterday. They continue living in the past while hoping for a better future. But here's the truth. You cannot build a new life while dragging the chains of an old one. The Stoics understood that the past is one of the few things completely outside your control. No amount of guilt can rewrite yesterday. No amount of anger can undo betrayal. No amount of regret can change a decision you've already made. Yet many people sacrifice today's peace, trying to fix a yesterday. Marcus Aurelius faced loss, war, illness, and disappointment throughout his life. He didn't pretend those things never happened. He simply refused to let them define who he became. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" he focused on a better question. What kind of person will I choose to become because of this? That shift changes everything. Pain can make you bitter, or it can make you wiser. Failure can destroy your confidence, or it can build resilience. The choice is always yours. Here's today's Stoic challenge. Think of one mistake or painful memory you've been holding on to. Write down one lesson it taught you. Then make a decision. Keep the lesson. Release the burden. Because wisdom is meant to stay, suffering isn't. Now I want to hear from you. What's one lesson your hardest experience taught you? Share it in the comments. Your story may become the encouragement someone else desperately needs today. And remember this. Your past is a chapter in your story, not the title of your life. In the next chapter, you'll discover why the people you surround yourself with quietly shape your future, and how Stoicism helps you choose the right company. Take a moment and think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now ask yourself one question. Are they pushing you forward or quietly pulling you backward? This is one of the hardest truths a man will ever face. You don't become successful overnight. You don't become lazy overnight either. The people around you slowly shape your standards, your habits, your mindset, and eventually your entire life. Spend enough time with people who complain, and complaining starts to feel normal. Spend enough time with people who waste every weekend, and wasting time begins to feel acceptable. Spend enough time with people who have no vision, and before long, you'll stop chasing your own. The Stoics understood that your environment is either building your character or destroying it. Seneca warned that we become like the company we keep. Think about that for a moment. Energy is contagious, discipline is contagious, but so are excuses. Imagine placing one glowing piece of charcoal next to cold ashes. Eventually, the heat fades. Now imagine placing one cold piece of charcoal into a blazing fire. Soon, it begins to burn with the same intensity. People affect us in exactly the same way. This doesn't mean you should abandon everyone who isn't perfect. It means you must be intentional about who influences your thoughts, your habits, and your future. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow, who tell you the truth instead of what you want to hear, and who celebrate your progress instead of feeling threatened by it. Here's today's Stoic challenge. Take 5 minutes today and write down the names of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Then ask yourself, after spending time with this person, do I feel stronger, wiser, and more motivated, or weaker, more negative and distracted? Your answer may reveal why your life has been moving in the direction it has. Now I want to hear from you. What's one quality you believe every true friend should have? Share your answer in the comments. You might help someone recognize the kind of people they should invite into their life. And remember this, the right people won't just change your mood, they can change your destiny. In the final chapter, we'll bring everything together with the most important Stoic principle of all, how to live each day with purpose, courage, and the awareness that life is precious because it is limited. If today were the last ordinary day of your life, would you be proud of how you spent it? It's a question most people avoid because the answer can be uncomfortable. We live as if we have unlimited time. We postpone our dreams until next year. We delay difficult conversations. We tell ourselves we'll start exercising on Monday, begin reading next month, or chase our purpose someday. But someday is a promise no one has. The Stoics practiced a powerful idea called memento mori. Remember that you will die. This wasn't meant to make people fearful. It was meant to make them fully alive. Will you remember the arguments that stole your peace? Mori mastanmo peace. Or will you remember the risks you took, the people you loved, the promises you kept, and the courage you showed when life became difficult? The answer is being written today. Minususe, not tomorrow, today. So here's my final Stoic challenge for you. For the next 30 days, live intentionally. Wake up with purpose. Protect your time. Control your emotions. Choose discipline over comfort. Stop chasing approval. Speak with wisdom. If this video helped you, subscribe and join this community of men committed to wisdom, discipline, and self-mastery. Share this video with someone who needs to hear these words today. And remember this final truth. A great life isn't built in one extraordinary moment. It's built through ordinary choices made with extraordinary consistency. Until next time, stay calm, stay disciplined, and keep becoming the man your future self will be proud of. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Sanid every night. Ask yourself one simple question. Did I become a better man than I was yesterday? Sanid every night. Hey, if the answer is yes, even by 1%, you are already winning. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which Stoic principle impacted you the most, and which one will you practice first? Share it in the comments. Read someone else's answer too. You might learn a lesson that changes your perspective.